ever feel like you're just bombarded with all this advice on how to be happier
Hmm.
and more emotionally resilient? Like, where do you even start?
Right.
Well, get ready to dive into something surprisingly approachable, DBT journaling. It's like a roadmap for navigating those, choppy emotional waters we all face.
And a lot of people hear DBT and they think, therapy, not for me. But DBT, which stands for Dialectical Behavior Therapy, is really about building life skills,
Exactly.
It's for anyone who wants to, understand their emotions better, develop those healthier ways to deal with stress,
Yeah.
and build those stronger relationships too.
And journaling is just one of the tools that can help make it all click. And we've got a treasure chest of prompts to explore today. Our deep dive is sourced from LeStallion. They've put together 50, yes, 50, DBT journal prompts that promise to, boost your emotional intelligence.
Wow, 50.
Yeah, but before you think 50, that's a whole lot of journaling. Relax, we're not going line by line.
Okay, good.
Instead, we're going to unpack why these prompts are structured the way they are, how they connect to those core principles of DBT, and most importantly, what you, the listener, can gain from trying them out.
It's like getting a backstage pass. Not just what the prompts are asking, but, why they're designed to spark those aha moments that can lead to, well, real change.
And the article really emphasizes that DBT journaling isn't about filling pages just to fill pages,
Right.
It's about uncovering those hidden triggers that might be holding you back and building up your mental resilience, one thought at a time.
Exactly. And that's what's so empowering about DBT.
Mm-hmm.
It operates on this principle that you have the power within you to learn how to manage even those, difficult emotions.
Right.
And not to eliminate them altogether because, let's face it, we're human. We're going to feel things, right?
Yeah, it's part of the deal.
It's about learning to ride those waves, so to speak. And through that process, you develop those healthier coping mechanisms. You build a stronger sense of self. And ultimately, you cultivate more fulfilling relationships.
It's true. One thing that really jumped out at me in this article was the emphasis on mindfulness. They use this phrase, acute awareness, which I love that. It's like mindfulness, especially when you're practicing it through journaling, it helps you stay grounded even when life throws those inevitable curveballs,
Yeah. And there's some fascinating science backing that up, too. Mindfulness, at its core, is about paying attention to the present moment without judgment.
Right.
It's like hitting the pause button on that constant stream of thoughts and just observing what's happening right here, right now.
Yeah.
And studies show that this simple practice can actually change how our brains respond to stress.
Wait, so you're telling me that just taking a few moments to just be can actually rewire my brain to better handle stress?
It's true. Think of it this way. Every time you practice mindfulness, you're essentially strengthening those neural pathways in your brain that are responsible for emotional regulation. It's like building a mental muscle.
Oh.
The more you use it, the stronger it gets, and the better you become at managing those stress responses.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So mindfulness helps us become more aware of our emotions, but this article didn't just stop there, did it? It went on to talk about how DBT can actually help us show up better in our relationships, too.
Right. It's so important and I think often overlooked. We tend to think of emotional well-being as this solitary pursuit, but how we manage our emotions has a ripple effect on everyone around us. And DBT helps us bridge that gap between our inner world and our interactions with others.
And they had some really practical examples in the article, like how DBT can help you set healthier boundaries, which, let's be honest, it's something a lot of us could probably benefit from. They also touched on the power of active listening, really being present and engaged when someone is speaking.
Yeah, and the best part is these skills aren't just for people in therapy.
Yeah.
Right? Imagine the impact these skills could have in your own life, at work, in your personal relationships, even in how you see yourself. What if just by honing those communication skills, learning to advocate for your needs, you could experience greater harmony and understanding in all areas of your life?
It makes you think, okay, so we've talked about mindfulness, we've talked about relationships, but now I think it's time to get to the good stuff. The actual journal prompts themselves. So the article breaks them down into 5 categories. It's like workout zones for your emotional fitness.
I like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Ready to do a little warm-up with me?
Let's do it.
All right, so under mindfulness, the first prompt is, what are 3 things you can see, hear, and touch right now?
Okay.
So this is all about grounding you in the present moment, right here, right now. And it's such a simple exercise, but it really helps to shift your focus away from those, racing thoughts, anxieties, all that stuff. So for me, I'm looking at my notes, I'm hearing the birds chirping outside my window, and I can feel the smooth surface of my desk. See, already feeling like more centered. What about you? What are your three things?
Well, I love that this prompt reminds us that mindfulness isn't some, esoteric practice. It's really about finding those little anchors in your everyday experience.
So true.
Yeah.
Okay. Prompt number 2 from mindfulness. Write about a time when being mindful changed your day. Ooh, now this one is getting juicy.
Oh, yeah.
I'm thinking back to a moment when I was feeling super stressed about a deadline. And instead of letting that anxiety just spiral, I took a few minutes to just breathe, focus on my senses. And you know what? It totally shifted my energy.
Wow.
Yeah. I was able to approach the task with a clearer mind, and I actually ended up enjoying the process.
That's amazing.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, last one for mindfulness. And this one really, it made me think. How do you think mindfulness can make you happier? What comes to mind for you with that one?
I think for me, it's about recognizing that happiness isn't some distant destination.
Right.
It's about savoring those small, everyday moments of joy that we often overlook when we're caught up in our heads.
Totally.
Mindfulness helps us hit that pause button and really, truly appreciate the richness of our lives right here, right now.
Mm-hmm. So true. Okay, ready to move on to the next category.
Yeah, let's do it.
This one is called emotional regulation. And the first prompt asks, write about a time when you controlled your anger well.
Yeah.
What's helpful about this prompt is that it focuses on your strengths.
Okay.
It's so easy to get caught up in the times we didn't handle our emotions well.
Right. But by reflecting on a time when you did, you're essentially reinforcing those positive coping mechanisms.
Oh, I like that.
You're reminding yourself that you have the power to choose how you respond.
That reframing that's so helpful. It's not about beating ourselves up for the past, It's like celebrating those moments when we showed up as our best selves. Okay, what's next?
All right, the next prompt in emotional regulation asks, what are some things that make you feel peaceful? So this one's all about identifying your personal sources of comfort and calm.
Okay.
It's like creating a toolbox of self-soothing techniques that you can draw upon when you're feeling overwhelmed.
This prompt, it makes me think about the importance of self-care,
Yes.
which is not selfish.
No, not at all.
It's about giving ourselves permission to recharge and refuel so we can show up more fully, Yeah. For me, it's curling up with a good book, taking a walk in nature, or listening to music. What about you? What are your go-tos for feeling peaceful?
Oh, a hot bath with some Epsom salts, a good cup of tea, listening to the rain.
Ooh.
Those are my ultimate relaxation
Those
rituals.
sound amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, last one for emotional regulation. What is one emotion you find hard to handle?
Ooh, getting real. Why is it so important to acknowledge those, challenging emotions?
Because that's where the real growth happens, right?
Oh.
By shining a light on those emotions that we tend to avoid, we can start to understand, the root causes.
Right.
And then we can develop more effective strategies for managing them.
That makes sense.
Remember, it's not about judging ourselves for having those emotions.
Right.
It's about approaching them with curiosity and compassion. Okay. Making progress here. On to the next category. DBT, distress tolerance. These sound kind of intense. What's the overall aim of this category?
Yeah, these prompts are designed to help you navigate those really tough, overwhelming moments.
Right.
Everyone experiences them, but DBT provides these tools to help you get through them with more resilience.
Okay, I'm ready. Hit me with a prompt.
What's your go-to activity when you feel overwhelmed? This one is so relatable.
Yeah.
Everyone has those moments where it feels like it's all just too much.
Right.
The key is to have a plan in place for how you're going to navigate those moments.
So sure, having a plan is key. It's like having an emotional first aid kit, right? Ready to go. Mine definitely involves putting on some upbeat music and just dancing it out. It's amazing how movement and music can just shift your energy. What about you? What's in your emotional first aid kit?
I love that. It's so important to have those go-to activities that help us regulate our emotions and just find that sense of calm. My go-to is taking a few deep breaths, focusing on my breath, and then visualizing a peaceful scene.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Great strategies. Okay, next prompt in this DBT distress tolerance category. How do you stay calm in a really tough situation? That's a tough one.
It is, and there's no one-size-fits-all answer, right? But by reflecting on this question, you can start to identify what works for you. Maybe it's those deep breathing exercises we just talked about. Maybe it's removing yourself from the situation for a moment, or maybe it's, talking to someone you trust. The beauty of DBT is it really empowers you to create your own personalized toolbox.
I'm sensing a theme here. DBT is really all about getting to know yourself better.
Yeah,
It's like understanding what makes you tick, what helps you thrive, and what throws you off balance.
totally.
All right. Last one from DBT, distress tolerance. What does it mean to be strong in hard times? That's a powerful one to ponder.
It really is. And I think it speaks to the heart of resilience.
Yeah.
Strength isn't about never feeling overwhelmed or never struggling. It's about having the courage to face those challenges head on, knowing that you have the tools and that inner strength to get through them.
Okay, I am loving this. On to the next category, DBT, interpersonal effectiveness.
This one's all about building and maintaining healthy relationships, which, as we discussed earlier, is such a crucial aspect of DBT.
Absolutely. Write about a time when you asked for what you needed and it went well. This is a good reminder that, it's okay to ask for help.
Yes.
We don't have to do everything on our own.
Absolutely. And often, the people in our lives, they want to support us, but they might not know how.
That's true.
Asking for what you need, whether it's practical help or emotional support, is a sign of strength, not weakness.
Oh, I like that. I love that reframing. Okay, next interpersonal effectiveness prompt. How do you feel when someone understands your point of view? Honestly, it feels amazing,
Yeah.
like a huge weight has been lifted.
It's a basic human need to feel seen and heard. And when someone takes the time to truly understand our perspective, it creates this, deeper connection. And it strengthens that relationship.
100%. Okay, last one from this category. What are some ways you can improve your friendships? Ooh, this is a good one to end on.
It is. It keeps us accountable, right?
Yeah.
Relationships require effort and attention.
It's true.
By regularly reflecting on how we can show up better for our friends, we're investing in those connections. We're nurturing their growth.
Love that. Okay, ready for the final category?
Bring it on.
This one's called DBT, self-reflection. I like how meta this is. It's like we're journaling about journaling.
It's that next level self-awareness that DBT encourages, right?
Right.
It's not just about answering the prompts. It's also about, reflecting on what you've learned from the process itself.
Yeah. All right, first prompt in DBT self-reflection. What have you learned about yourself through DBT?
Oh, wow. That's a big one. We could do a whole other deep dive just on that question.
Right. It could be anything from identifying your emotional triggers to discovering new coping mechanisms. The beauty of DBT is that it really is a journey of self-discovery.
So true. Okay, next self-reflection prompt. What part of DBT do you find most challenging? No shame in admitting that some of this stuff is, hard.
Absolutely. And it's important to approach it with a sense of self-compassion, right?
Yeah. DBT is about progress, not perfection.
Love that. Okay, last prompt from this deep dive into DBT journaling. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
How do you see your future changing because of DBT? Wow. That's a powerful one to end on.
It is. It speaks to the transformative potential of this work. DBT isn't just about managing emotions in the moment. It's about building a more resilient, more fulfilling life over the long term.
This has been amazing. I don't know about you, but I am feeling so inspired to crack open a journal and try some of these prompts myself.
Me too. And remember, you don't need to be an expert in DBT to benefit from these prompts. Just start with a spirit of curiosity and see what you discover.
And if you're ready to take the plunge, you can find the full list of 50 DBT journal prompts on LeStallion's website. We'll have the link for you in our show notes. What if the simple act of asking yourself these questions, regardless of the answers, is already a step towards positive change?
That is a powerful thought. All right, everyone. Until next time, happy journaling.